What's up everyone? Are you curious to know what's the best loan program that you could utilize to buy your first home in 2020? Well, in this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the programs that you can utilize as a first-time home buyer that will allow you to put a low down payment, have flexible credit terms so you can have a low credit score, and still get the best rate with the lowest fees possible. So before we dive into today's video, I read a statistic from the College Journal that said over the last 2 centuries, 90% of the world's millionaires were created through real estate. That's right, 90%. 90% of millionaires created their wealth through real estate. So for the average person, that gives you your best shot to create wealth. So I thought that was just a really, telltale sign that, if you're haven't invested in a property yet, now is the time. It's always the time, because guess what? No matter where you live, especially in a city like me where I live in LA, there's not going to be any more land created, guys. This is it. This is all there is. So if you own a piece of it, you own something that over time is guaranteed going to increase in value and create wealth for you. And one of my favorite real estate success stories is the late and great Dr. Jerry Buss. Dr. Jerry Buss was the former owner of the Los Angeles Lakers before he passed away. He had a PhD in chemical engineering or something like that, and he was a chemist working for the Bureau of Mines. So how did he create his wealth? Well, it was not through being a chemist, okay? It was through investing in real estate. And it started with a single investment with partners of an apartment building in Los Angeles, then grew to 2, 3, 4, and then he ended up buying the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Kings, and the Great Western Forum in a combo deal, and he paid $60 million, and at the time of his death, worth billions of dollars, owner of the Lakers, and that's one of my personal favorite success stories. If you haven't read about Dr. Jerry Buss's story, look him up. Very interesting, very inspiring to help you on your journey to invest in real estate. And if you guys are enjoying these videos, please go ahead and smash up those likes, subscribe, hit the bell, and be on the lookout for our next video. So let's dive right in, okay? So the first program that always comes up if you're a first-time home buyer is the FHA program. Okay, so some of the features of the FHA program are you only need to put 3.5% down. So you put a really low down payment. The other feature that attracts a lot of people to FHA is it's very flexible with your credit score. So you could actually have as low as a 550 credit score and get a home loan through FHA. So what the hell is the FHA anyway? Okay, FHA stands for the Federal Housing Administration. So it was an administration put together about 50, 60 years ago, and it was created to bring more home buying opportunities to the people who needed it. Hence, offering loans for a low down payment and offering loans with a low credit score. FHA takes on the risk. If you end up not paying on the mortgage, FHA covers that mortgage loan. So every single month, you pay a mortgage insurance premium to FHA, and in return, they insure your loan in the case of you missing payments, in case of foreclosure, etc. So the downside to FHA is it's an expensive loan, okay? So the fees are high, okay? So when you're buying a house, there's a bunch of fees that go along with it, like escrow, title, things like that. So in addition to the standard fees that go along with buying a house, with FHA, they charge you 1.75% of the loan amount as a one-time fee, and they roll that into your loan. So you don't pay for it out of pocket, but still it gets added to your loan and it's an extra expense, okay? So an easy way to avoid a costly FHA loan, now don't get me wrong, FHA is a good loan if you're in the market to buy right now and your credit score is low and there's no immediate way to raise it. FHA is a good option because you can buy a house with FHA. 6 months later, if you could improve your credit, you can get out of the FHA. You could just get a conventional loan. But my recommendation is if you're buying a home for the first time and you can get your score to 620, just 620, you can buy a house with just 5% down on a conventional loan. So a conventional loan will have a lot less fees than an FHA loan. So for example, that 1.75% that we just talked about does not exist with a conventional loan. Okay, so that's if your loan, for example, is $500,000, 1.75 is an extra $8,750. Okay, so if you're buying a house for the first time and you can avoid an $8,000 fee, work on your credit, and you just need an extra 1.5% down. You just need 5% down for a conventional loan. Okay, so that's one of the biggest myths that I see is people think you need 20%. You don't need a 20% down. You could buy a house with just 5% down and still get a conventional loan and still get a very competitive interest rate. Okay, so you won't have the upfront mortgage fee of the $8,750 like we talked about, or whatever 1.75% of your loan is, but with a conventional loan, you still have a monthly mortgage insurance, but even the monthly mortgage insurance is a lot cheaper. Is a lot cheaper rate than the FHA. So for example, if FHA charges $200 a month in mortgage insurance, a conventional loan will probably only charge you $100. So it's a lot cheaper all the way around. So I know I also just talked about how FHA has a fee of 1.75%. You might be thinking, well, what other fees are associated with getting a loan? What are the fees associated with buying a house? Glad you asked. I'm gonna be making a video coming up. One of my next videos is gonna be what are closing costs? Okay, so what are closing costs when you buy a house? I'm gonna break that all down for you so you know exactly what you should be paying when going into that process. So it's one of the main questions that my clients ask. So I'm gonna be making a video, so keep an eye out for that. So the first option we talked about was an FHA loan where you only have to put 3.5% down. Not a bad option, good option if you have a low down payment and a bad credit score. The next option we talked about was a conventional loan, which it only requires 5% down versus 3.5% with FHA. The next program I want to talk about, it's called the Fannie Mae Home Ready program. And this is a great program if you fall into the parameters, okay? So the Fannie Mae Home Ready program allows you to buy a house with just 3% down, no upfront mortgage insurance. So it's better than FHA and it's better than a conventional loan because you only have to put 3% down. You get a good rate, you get a low mortgage insurance, and there's no upfront mortgage insurance. So like how we talked about with FHA, that huge 1.75% fee, you get to avoid that with conventional, and you get to avoid that with the Fannie Mae Home Ready program. Now, the only downside to the Fannie Mae Home Ready program is they have income limits depending on the location of the property. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a link in the description below where it'll take you right to the Fannie Mae Home Ready website. You type in the address of the property that you wanna buy, and it'll tell you if it's eligible for Home Ready and what the income limit is for that area. Okay, so let's say you search a house and it comes up and it's eligible and it says the income limit is $75,000. Well, that means you're eligible. That property is eligible, and you can get a Fannie Mae Home Ready loan as long as your income is $75,000 or less. Okay, so another option, a great option to consider when you're searching. Look up that address on the Fannie Mae site. You may be eligible to buy that property with only 3% down. So here's an example of what it looks like when you type in an address. So right here, I typed in my office address, and you can see the median income is $79,100. So any house in these outlines, you can buy and put 3% down and have no upfront mortgage insurance as long as your income is $79,000 or less. Another great first-time home buyer loan that you may be able to utilize if you're a veteran is a VA loan. So if you're a veteran, you served in the military, you get your certificate of eligibility, and we run it with the FHA. And if you have enough service, you can get a loan with no down payment, 100% financing. So obviously that's awesome as long as you can afford, you have income and you could afford the payment. Buying a house and not putting a down payment, 0 down payment, no mortgage insurance, really great benefit to all of our veterans out there. So it's a great great loan to take advantage of. And VA loan has its own requirement. So these are some of the loan programs that you may qualify for as a first-time buyer. So I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna leave links to all of these programs if you wanna read more about the requirements, but wait for it, there's more. In addition to these loan programs, there are local loan programs and first-time borrower assistance programs that may be available to you. So for example, here in LA, there's a loan program called LIPA, L-I-P-A, and LIPA stands for Low Income Purchase Assistance, where the city of LA will cover up to $90,000 of your down payment and closing costs. I mean, what an amazing opportunity to utilize a local program and cover $90,000 of your down payment and your closing costs. So that's just here in LA. So I highly recommend Googling and searching and doing some research to see what local programs you may be able to find in your area that can help you buy your first home, because they're out there. You just gotta find them. So here are some of the requirements for the LIPA program, just in case you do live here in LA. Look this up and see if maybe you might qualify and submit your application. So there you have it, guys. Some of the programs that we covered, no matter where you live, that are available nationally. And be sure to check out what local loan assistance programs you may have in your city. They're all over. Here in LA, we have one. They have them all over. You just gotta look and find them. So those are the loan programs that you can utilize to buy your first home in 2020. And thank you guys so much for the love. Thank you for the support. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you know anyone who would find value from this video, please share it with them. And if you haven't already done so, download my ebook, 38 Hacks to Buy Your First Home That Your Real Estate Agent Will Not Tell You. I've spilled the beans, so download the ebook now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.